Rob Reiner. You won't believe what Rob Reiner just revealed at 78, the real story behind his time with Carroll O'Connor, the legendary actor who brought Archie Bunker to life. If you grew up watching All in the Family, you probably think you know their relationship. Two actors playing opposite sides of a huge cultural divide, clashing on and off screen. But the truth? It's way more interesting and way warmer than anyone expected. Let's rewind. Rob Reiner was born in 1947 inches, the Bronx, New York, into a family where show business was basically part of the DNA. His dad, Carl Reiner, was a comedy legend, writing and acting on classics like Your Show of Shows and creating The Dick Van Dyke Show. Growing up around that kind of talent gave Rob an early crash course in comedy, timing, and storytelling. But he was determined to make his own mark, and boy, did he. In the early 70 seconds, Rob shot to fame playing Michael Meathead Stivic on All in the Family. His character was the young liberal son-in-law who constantly challenged Archie Bunker's old-school bigoted views. Archie? Played by none other than Carroll O'Connor. The show wasn't just funny, it tackled race, politics, gender, and all the messiness of family and society in a way no other sitcom dared to. It became a cultural milestone. But here's where it gets juicy. People always assumed Rob and Carroll must have hated each other off camera, given how fiery their characters' arguments were. Nope. Rob recently opened up and set the record straight. He said working with Carroll was a masterclass in acting. Carroll wasn't just playing a caricature, he made Archie human, complicated, sometimes even likable in a weird way. That takes real skill. Rob admitted that being on set with Carroll was intimidating because the man was so commanding and sharp. Every scene with him meant Rob had to bring his A game. But instead of friction, there was respect. Deep respect. Carroll was like a mentor, pushing Rob to up his acting without ever saying a word about it. The guy just set the bar so high that you had no choice but to rise to the occasion. And Carroll wasn't just about acting chops. Rob described him as a kind, thoughtful, shy guy, behind the scenes totally different from the Archie everyone knew. He was an intellectual who hated the bigotry his character represented. But he played that role honestly because he believed in making people uncomfortable to challenge them. Carroll once told Rob, "If people aren't uncomfortable, we're not doing our job." That idea stuck with Rob for life, shaping how he approached filmmaking. Speaking of which, Rob didn't stay just an actor. After All in the Family, he switched gears and became one of Hollywood's most versatile directors. His debut was This Is Spinal Tap in 1984, a hilarious mockumentary that nailed the rock scene so perfectly it fooled some folks into thinking it was real. That dry humor and sharp satire became Rob's signature. Then came a string of hits. Stand By Me, a touching coming-of-age film based on a Stephen King story. The Princess Bride, which blended romance, fantasy, and comedy into a beloved classic. And When Harry Met Sally, the romantic comedy that redefined the genre with its sharp dialogue and unforgettable scenes. Hello, Diner Moment. Rob showed he could handle everything, from laugh-out-loud comedy to heartfelt drama. He didn't stop there. A Few Good Men brought courtroom intensity and unforgettable lines like Jack Nicholson's iconic "You Can't Handle the Truth." And as an actor, Rob kept popping up in movies, often giving himself fun roles that added a bit of humor or heart, like his self-casting as the mockumentary director Marty DeBurgi in Spinal Tap. His personal life was just as eventful. Rob married actress-director Penny Marshall in 1971 before his directing career took off. Penny was already making waves with her own TV work and later became a groundbreaking director herself. Rob adopted Penny's daughter, Tracy Reiner, who went on to have her own acting career. Though Rob and Penny divorced after a decade, their time together connected two creative powerhouses. Later, during When Harry Met Sally, Rob met photographer Michelle Singer. Their relationship inspired a big change. Originally, Rob planned a bittersweet ending where the leads didn't end up together. But after falling in love with Michelle, he rewrote it to the happy ending we all know and love. They married in 1989 and had 3 kids, each carving their own paths. Jake in acting, Nick as a writer, who inspired Rob's film Being Charlie, and Romy. Michelle brought stability and joy to Rob's life, fueling his ongoing creativity. Back to Carroll O'Connor. Rob talked about how Carroll was more than just a co-star. He was a teacher and a friend. Their friendship lasted beyond the show, and Carroll's approach to using humor as a tool for truth-telling influenced Rob's whole career. He credits Carroll with showing him how comedy can challenge people, open minds, and reveal uncomfortable truths, all while making audiences laugh. At 78, Rob Reiner's reflections remind us how powerful those early TV days were. Carroll O'Connor's Archie Bunker wasn't just a character, he was a complex, brilliant performance that pushed boundaries. And Rob's memories paint Carroll as a genuinely kind, generous man who was misunderstood by many because of his iconic role. So, next time you watch All in the Family or one of Rob's classic films, remember this. Behind those memorable characters and sharp scripts, there were real people with real respect and friendship shaping every moment. Rob sums it up best. I loved him. Carroll wasn't just my co-star, he was my teacher, my friend, and one of the greats. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Hollywood history and the stories behind the scenes, hit that like button and subscribe. For more! Got a favorite Rob Reiner or Carroll O'Connor moment? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what stuck with you. Thanks for watching.